Good morning, dear students. Last week we have discussed about the bakery and confectionery technology lecture. We started the lecture and we have discussed up to some extent regarding the sugar confectionery. So today we are going to continue it for different topic, and we are going to discuss today with aerated confectioneries and how to incorporate. So we are going to discuss these things in this lecture. So the last week we started with the introduction regarding the confectionaries and why is it important, and the industries and the producers, confectionery producers and international producers, and also the local manufacturers. We have discussed these things, and the sugar confection especially. I suppose that you all can remember these things, how it changed, and how to use sugar effectively for our uh, required applications. And sweetness sensation, I have shared some research papers in the LMS regarding the sweetness sensation mechanism. So it is very important to study because you know that sweeteners are available and confectioneries, everything. And in currently, the sugar has become one of the critical topic in the society due to diabetes mellitus. So you know that the sugar directly affect for that non-communicable disease. So therefore, uh, sweet sensation is very important. So nowadays we are doing a research regarding this sweetness. So we can change the environmental factors such as music, light, and those conditions to boost, with a view to boost the sweetness sensation. So in product development is one side and sensation is another side. So if we can reduce sugar up to some extent and boost its sensation by using music or any other background thing, it is very good. So you are technologist, and so you should be able to do new research activities and new product development with these technologies. So that's why sweetness sensation is very important, right? So you all have to read those articles. I have shared two articles with you. So you better read these articles and understand the things I have mentioned in these papers, right? Then we have discussed about sugar behavior, how sugar behaves with different conditions. It means different temperature, different time, and stirring speed. All these things we have discussed. And critical factors of sugar confectionery industry. Uh, so there are very critical factors such as I have told earlier, temperature and stirring speed and temperature time relationship. All these things are critical in sugar confectionery. And packaging material also critical. So there are some there are after when we develop confectionaries, after developing we have to pack it, because if not, there are some bad things such as sweating and quality also change. So therefore packing materials and speed of packing, everything, it is very important. And environmental condition, the RH, all these things are very important to uh, consider. Here you can see I just share this slide to uh, summarize the things we have discussed last week. So you can see with different temperatures, its characteristics also change, right? Its color and texture, all these things are change. So today we are going to discuss incorporated sugar confectionaries. So you can see some examples for incorporated food products, not sugar confectionaries, some food products. So all these things are incorporated foods, right? There are some extruded products, bakery products, and confectionaries. You can see how to incorporate. All these products are familiar with you, so you all have consumed taste all these food products even at one time in your life. So AI incorporation, what here you have very common terms, AI incorporation, sugar confectionaries. So structure and texture we are going to change by incorporating AI, right? By incorporating AI. So how to incorporate AI? There are different technologies are being used in the industry, and you all can develop your new technologies as well. So that should happen. Yeah, incorporation has been more of an art than a science. It's actually art, right? As a result of AI incorporation, you can see there are different advantages, right? There are so many advantages after incorporating AI. So the reduction of product density. So as an example, you can just imagine a hex toffee and a piece of marshmallows. You can compare its texture and weight and the density, right? And rheological properties also change, and the texture and it mouth feel. So especially we all like to consume marshmallows and bubble gum like things. Yeah, incorporated products and ice cream also. You can feel the texture. You can imagine its texture as it's a little bit soft rather than having a hard product. And increased surface area, with incorporation of air. So air trapped inside the product, so the surface area automatically increased, right? And digestibility also. So it is in the other side, we have a product, we have enough product, but after incorporation of air, its raw material actually it's half. Neither. It means, as an example, when we consider as an example ice cream. So 1 liter ice cream, the actual ingredients are there around 500 milliliters. Other 500 milliliters, yeah, we use air, right? So it means when we consume 1 liter of ice cream, actually the ice cream amount is 500 milliliters. So it is actually important, right? So we know the sensorial characteristics are very important for food products. So we all would like to consume ice cream like young incorporated products. So we would like to eat more ice cream. So perhaps you would like to eat several cups of ice cream or several ice cream uh, per time. So if we have just imagine that we are not, there are two ice creams. One, yeah, incorporated one. The other one is a bulk one. Not yeah, no, we have not incorporated yeah. So then we can compare these two ice creams. So the first one we have if it is the weight is 100 grams, actual weight is 50 gram. Other 50 gram, the volume is there, but ice cream is not there. The other one, all the entire product is there, not incorporated there. So it means the density, so the volume is there and the product is there, but we just consume half of the ingredient. So it's actually healthy. And alteration of digestibility extends shelf life. So we can increase the shelf life as a result of air and flavor and mouthfeel and all the sensorial characteristics, right? In here, in when it comes to sugar confectionery, air bubbles have been incorporated, right? Here you can see some examples. Basically, sugar nuggets, even chocolate-based confections are being aerated to get the attractive texture, and there are range of confectionaries from crunchy to crisp. So you can see the honeycomb structure in candies, as I mentioned here. You can see in this picture honeycomb structure, and soft air incorporated products. Example is marshmallows, and you can see the bulk density. It's range of 0.2 to 1.1. right? There are several methods: whipping, entrainment, and beating. And it means ultimately it is actually a vigorous tiring is there. So as a result of vigorous tiring, you can see air will trap inside the product while we are processing, right? We will discuss the processing methods later. There are two methods we are being used in the industry: mechanical aeration and chemical aeration. But out of these two techniques, most commonly we use mechanical aeration, because nowadays the industry is moving towards green products, organic products. So therefore, chemical usage has to be decreased. So if we can do these things mechanically by using physical methods, I think by using different technologies, so I think it's better. So therefore, I suggest you to do mechanical aeration and promote mechanical aeration for your products, right? Here we can use the normal air, and no, if we have any preferable gas type, maybe oxygen, carbon dioxide, then we can use such gases also. If not, we can use the commonly available air in the atmospheric air. Air incorporated by a planetary beater at atmospheric and injected pressurized air, ensuring uniform quality and texture. Here you can see these in these examples, they are with the method we use, the texture also change, right? Texture also change. Here you can see some somewhat honeycomb structures in the inside the texture. So how to do these things? There are two methods: mechanical and chemical. If it is a mechanical aeration, it's for that we have to use a different beaters or stirrers. If when it comes to chemical aeration, here we are using chemicals. As an example, sodium bicarbonate. So you know what happened when we heat the mixture, dough mixture, uh, which is uh, which is developed with sodium bicarbonate like carbon dioxide releasing agent. Then when we increase the temperature, sodium bicarbonate will release carbon dioxide. So as a result of that, the inside structure, uh, the texture of the product change as a honeycomb structure with different air bubbles, different shape air bubbles. So then we can get a air incorporated sugar confection. So as an example, I will use a very common one, a bread, a piece of bread. You can see the texture of the inside. You can see the inside texture of a bread, right? There are some um, air bubbles. So we can't see the air bubbles, but texture is um, in the when we study the texture, you can understand how the air bubbles trap inside. So there you can see different shapes, different sizes, different uh, densities of air bubbles. It means uh, when when you measure the number of air bubbles in per inch, right? You can calculate the number of air bubbles per square 1 inch area. Then you can see different numbers of air bubbles, different sizes are there. But anyway, air has incorporated in this product. So here also, you can get this type of texture by using sugar and sodium bicarbonate mixture. So when we increase the sodium bicarbonate amount, then you can get more uh, air bubbles, right? Then texture will change as a smooth one. And temperature is very important. When we increase the temperature, you know the reaction will happen, right? When it comes to marshmallows, you know it is one of the very famous product available in the market. Marshmallows. It is a natural one founded in France. So this is the plant they use, the root extract they have used. Uh, they mix this root extract with sugar and egg white to produce marshmallows. But nowadays we are using some chemical agents, artificial chemicals to develop marshmallows, because the industry has been change and the requirements and the market also change. So with this market, it is difficult to uh, develop these marshmallows by using these natural ingredients. So, but in Sri Lanka, we have so many natural ingredients, plants. So therefore, if we can do some research activities to find, to extract such valuable chemicals, then we can incorporate those chemicals into marshmallows. So it will add more value, uh, economical and nutritional value, right? So it's actually a little bit high moisture product. Um, the two type of very important ingredients are there. Sugar solution should be there and gelling agent, right? Basically, we use gelling agent to get the texture. Initially, the sugar solution heat up to 115 degrees of Celsius. I hope that you all have done these experiments in the laboratory. So therefore, you have the hands-on experience. And cooling is important around 66 degrees. Then we are going to mix the gelling agent, maybe egg white, maybe gelatin, pectin, or a mixture. Then beat vigorously to take the texture, required texture, because as we discussed, the stirring speed is very important to attract or grab air, right? After completion of all these processes, then we are going to add colors and flavors uh, while we are beating. So that is also important. So if we have to do add those flavors and colors while we are beating, if not, it is difficult to get a even texture. So in some areas you can see different colors and flavors, right? In you have this experience when you are cooking in your home. So sometimes we add salt after cooking. So then what happens? In some areas you can see high salt, other areas no salt is there. And when you are preparing omelets, so it's actually very good. Uh, it's actually a rare example. So you have this experience. So mixing and stirring is very important uh, to get a proper texture. And also, when you prepare cakes in your home, it is also very important to beat it properly, right? It is a difficult one, so beating is very critical one. In ice cream industry also, it is very important because air incorporation is very critical to get the desired texture, right? And as we have explained, vigorous beating is required. Initially, very large air bubbles are there, then the bubbles will break, and with the time. So with high amount of sugar and low amount of sugar, what will happen? So you have to think on these things. So you know, sugar inversion. It is actually a critical thing when we are preparing sugar confectionaries. Sugar inversion means when we increase the temperature and acid and pH, so sugar will sucrose will change to glucose plus fructose. So as a result of that, the sugar taste also increased. You know that when we consume sugar, the glucose, the, the sugar taste is higher than sucrose, right? And I hope that you can remember the sweetness determination techniques. I have explained these things in the very first lecture. So in sugar, to avoid sugar inversion and to control pH is important, and amount of sugar. So I suppose you can remember the sugar to water ratio. Basically, we use 1 to 3 ratio. Sugar 1 to water 3. So when we increase the sugar amount, so can you remember the thing I have explained? Sugar dissolving rate and all these things. I hope that you can remember. So you can imagine the answers for this question, right? You can imagine. You have to answer. You have to find answers for these questions. I have shared some textbooks and research papers also. So please refer those things, and even you can refer YouTube or any other articles available in internet, but please pay your attention on selecting before selecting articles. All these articles should be scientifically sound articles. If not, the data is not, we can't believe those data, right? So therefore, these technical details are very important. Actually, the sugar incorporate the AI incorporation is just a method. So just incorporation of air. So we can use the natural layer or any artificial layer. There are two methods we have discussed. So by using these two techniques, we can incorporate air. That is nothing general. But there are some technical problems. So how to maintain these problems? And I hope you have experienced when you are doing practicals also. The texture, to get the proper texture is very difficult. Sometimes it moisture content might be high. So as a result of that, you can observe the very bad texture of marshmallow. It's sticky texture. When we decrease the water, then, so marshmallows is a little bit, the product with a little bit higher moisture content. So when we decrease the moisture content, so again it is difficult to get the texture. And when we increase the temperature up to some higher degrees, then caramelization will be occurred. So as a result of caramelization, the color again change and the texture also change. So therefore, it is very important to pay your attention and thoroughly study the behaviors, right? So you can do these practicals in your home. You can just prepare some marshmallows in your home. So this cost is also very low. In this picture, you can see air bubbles, amorphous sugar, and sugar crystals, right? And gelatin. What is the role of gelatin here? What is the role of gelatin here? There are air bubbles, and sugar and sugar crystals. So you can see how it works. How to trap air bubbles together by using gelatin, and all these things bound with these gelling agents, right? You can see two air bubbles here, and there are some sugar crystals and gelatin. So role of gelatin is to bind all these air bubbles together to get the smooth texture. In the texture is very important. You can see the texture of marshmallows. It's a little bit rubbery texture. So you can imagine the texture here. And there are three types of gelling agents here being used: galbumin, gelatin, and pectin. Right? You can use these three gelling agents. So you have experience how to mix the gelling agents. So before that, we have to mix these gelling agents with sugar. Neither. If not, it is difficult to dissolve it in water. Right? So all these practices are very important in developing this type of AI incorporated products. Then another one, chewing gum. Right? Chewing gums, it is also commonly available. You all have this experience, the texture, taste, and mouthfeel, all these things, right? Here we have again rubbery texture, but in developing chewing gums, we are using sugar, alcohol, and gum base. We can use sugar or sugar alcohol or gum base and gum base agent, right? Sugar is very important. If we are not going to use sugar, then we can use sugar alcohol, and gum base is very important, right? There are four major categories when it comes to chewing gum: sugar-based chewing gum, sugar-free chewing gum, powdered chewing gum, and medicated chewing gum. So sugar-based, sugar is there, sugar-free, sugar alcohols are there. Coated chewing gum, you can see different flavors and the things used to coat. Even sweet agents may be little bit salted surfaces you can see, and with some mint and some fruit flavors, so you can develop. And medicated chewing gum means incorporated different types of ingredients with which is having medicinal value, right? So the fourth category is very important because the sweet agents are being used. The most commonly we are using sweet sugar chewing gums. Here you can see two pictures. The first figure, here you can see water soluble matters around 80% and gum based 20%. This is actually sugar based chewing gum, right? Gum based 20%, water soluble matters are 80%. It means sugar and other flavors. So when we consider this 80%, right, you can see 60% of sugar is there and flavors 0.5 to 1%. Glycerin is there, glucose syrup is there. You know, we have to use glucose syrup to avoid sugar inversion and to get the proper texture. And polyols are also we have to use. It means the flavors, colors, and everything. It is around 20%. Sorry, 60 to 18. It's around 2%, right? So the 60% highest percentage is sugar, then glucose syrup. All these things are sweet products, and gum base is around 20%, right? The chewing gums when we consume in the market, so you know, gum base is 20%, 80% is other sugar, water soluble things. When it comes to sugar free gums, here you can see gum base little bit higher than sugar gums. It's 25 to 30. The water soluble matters are around 7. So as I told you earlier, here we have to use different types of sugar substitutes, polyols around 50 to 60, and other agents are around somewhat around 5 to 6%. So the importance of these two pictures are, it is very important to identify, to discuss and understand the percentages. So if we can't develop sugar-free chewing gums with this adherent to these ratios, so therefore we have to use different ratios. And what are the polyols, right? What are the examples? How to get these things? So I will give you an assignment to you have to refer all these things from the internet and prepare a one-page assignment, and you have to submit it after the exam, right? So there is no problem. So we call it as chewing gums, we call it as bubble gums, and centerfield gums are available, ball gums, stick gums, ribbon gums, tab gums, tube gums, draggy gums and wrap gums are available in the market. And the natural gums, Jotong and Chicle. So these are the commonly used natural gums. And we can use some pine resins, you know, the pine tree. So we can use pine tree resins to develop chewing gums. And there are some synthetic materials. Nowadays we are using these synthetic materials, vinyl esters and non-toxic polymers, right? So non-toxic polymers, butadiene, styrene rubbers, isobutylene and isopropene, like there are different chemicals are available, food grade chemicals are available. In selecting in the first paragraph, first rows, you can see the natural things, and in here you can see artificial materials. So nowadays we are moving again, we are moving towards natural things, but still we are using synthetic materials, right? So there are different chemicals are available. Here you can see some examples. So if you are interested, you can read some articles and some experiments available in the literature. So the application of chewing gum, we use it as a stress releasing agent. අපි සාමාන්‍යයෙන් chewing gum එකක් කනවා පොඩ්ඩක් stress එක අයින් කරගන්න. and අපේ mouth feel එකට අපි කනවා. නේද? අපි මීටින් එකකට යන්න කලින් බබල් ගම් එකක් කනවා. අපි නිදිමත වෙනකොට බබල් ගම් එකක් කනවා. right? and smoke කරන අයට ඒක නවත්ත ගන්න අපිට බබල් ගම් කන්න අවස්ථා තිබෙනවා. And as a medicine, so if we have incorporated some medicinal value to those chewing gums, then we can use it as a medicine, especially for teenagers and students and small children. So we can use it as a medicine. So you know it is very difficult to feed them, right? So then we can use some chewing gums with more nutritional value, right? Still we don't have this type of nutritive bubble gums in the market, especially in Sri Lanka. In other countries they have, but in Sri Lanka we don't have. So you can develop. It's actually a very hidden areas. So basically, when we discuss about the food industry, all the people like to go to dairy industry or fruit and vegetable industry, like these areas. But the confectionery industry is a lagging area. It's a hidden area, but there are so many uh, areas to be improved, right? So as technologists, I advise you to select the market. So nowadays you can see, as an example, tea. So all these peoples are doing flavored teas, and they mix some murunga and get they take murunga and convert it into powder and export. That's good. We have a market, but how to survive in the market is important, right? Even if you have visited 100 factories, food processing factories, so most of the factories they don't have knowledge, so they just hire some people and do something and export, right? You know what is happening in the industry? They just selected some leaf or fruit or any plant, they just dry it and export. So there are no nutritional profile analysis, no medicinal value analysis. They just do things. So please pay your attention on emerging technologies, right? And the hidden areas in the market. But nowadays, you know, the water bottle industry market is already saturated. Tea industry. So when you go to supermarket, you can collect more than 20, 30 tea-based product. But all these products are same. So in Sri Lankan market, it is very difficult to get an instant meal. We have instant rice probably, but we don't have instant meal. Right? If your mother or your wife hospitalized in the future, so it is difficult to cook your home. But nowadays the family concepts. So those days we had 4 members in the family, but nowadays it has become 3 members, right? Husband, wife, and baby. Only 3 members. So when we start cooking, right? Now still you don't have this experience, but we have this experience. When we start cooking for 2, 3 people, it is actually big loss, right? We have to pay for gas, we have to pay for electricity, and the vegetable loss is there. Around 40 to 50% of vegetables loss is there. So if we have introduced, when we introduce an instant meal, so we have to just take it from the market and microwave it or heat it up to some around 60 degrees, then we can consume, right? So the market is there, different markets are there, so technologies are there. So showcasing their talents, there are some talent shows and exhibitions are also there, but all the areas, some areas are still lagging and hidden, not being commercialized and popularized. So you can study the market and take one or two ideas and develop your own product. Then you can market it, right? So chewing gums are also very good area, right? How to develop chewing gum? Just take, as we discussed, gum-based sugar or sugar alcohol. Here it is very important to get icing sugar, right? Icing sugar is very important. If we use sugar, then when we chew these chewing gums, then you can feel the, you can sometimes you can feel the sugar crystals. So it's a bad sensation. So it is important to use icing sugar. Ice sugar means uh, it is actually sugar. We have reduced its crystal size. Ground sugar, right? Glucose syrup, calcium carbonate. What is the role of calcium carbonate here for AI incorporation? Starch, palm oil, coconut oil, flavors, colors, and functional gums with herbs, with the vitamins or medicine. So you can, all these things are very familiar ingredients. So composition is also there. We have already discussed in the previous figures, right? And the method. So I'm not going to explain the methods. You know the method, and here also you can see. Actually, the chewing gums are extruded food product. And nowadays, it is easy to use extrusion technology to develop bubble gums or chewing gums, right? Heating, mixing, kneading. Kneading, you know, it is actually unit operation belongs to extrusion, and cutting is there, right? You have to just mix all these ingredients, and hope you can remember the extrusion technology and how to use it. In this type of product development, it is important to use an extruder with different hoppers, because as I told you earlier, here we have to add flavors, colors, and gums at different stages. So for that, we should have a different hoppers to feed, right? Then extrude it and cut and pack and send to the market. So those are the uh, processing steps. So I hope that you all know you can do something about AI incorporated sugar industries. So I think now you have some technical knowledge in developing sugar in confectionaries, and we are going to wind up the now we are going to stop these sugar confectionaries. Then in the next lecture I will do it. I'll start it with chocolates. So and under fermentation technology, you have learned how to prepare cocoa and how to prepare chocolates. I suppose you have some knowledge about these things. So anyway, I will do the lecture regarding the chocolate confectionery. So we have to. There are so many things to discuss, but so many theory and lecture materials are there. But I hope that you are technologist. You don't need so many and big theories. You just know the technology and the raw material and the techniques are what are the techniques. Then you can go ahead with these things, because you are studying Bachelor of Technology. If you are studying Bachelor of Science, then you can read all the articles, all the things. Then I can do so many lectures for these sugar confectionery, 10 lectures, 9, 10 lectures I can do. But I suppose you need technical knowledge and the background. So if you are interested, you can download these things. And if you are interested, I will share these things with you. I have those books and articles with me. So when I'm doing the lectures for other faculties, science-based faculties, so I use those things. But for technologists, you need to get the technology, right? Then you have to develop the technology. You have developed your own machines and equipment and new technologies. Then you can find new raw materials. Those things are important to the existing market and the industry, right? So I hope that it's clear, and you can get these things from the market. If you are going to develop these things, then you can buy these ingredients from the directly from the market, and you can start your own business nowadays. Several people has they have started their business, online businesses. So chocolates are there. They are nowadays for wedding. Uh, so you can see these things. Those days we had wedding cakes, but nowadays we have wedding chocolates and some toffees and confectionaries, right? So the requirements and the cultures are being changed. So you can address to these changes, right? You can develop some product and market it, and check it properly and market it, right? So I always told you, please start your own business, so then you can earn a lot, right? So you can give salaries, you can support several people, right? If you can join a job in government job, the salary is around 30,000, 40,000. So always you have to go to the office and operate a computer and back to home, and then you have children, you have one kid and then two kids, and then you have to start their schooling, right? The life is there. So if you have to start business, right, so you have to keep your attention on the existing the competitive markets and the other countries. What are the products available in other countries? So what are the competitive products in the market? So what type of chemicals the government is going to ban, and then I have to find the substitutes, right? All these updates you can get. So and you can earn a lot. So please start your own business. The government is ready. There are so many loan schemes are there. Please start your own business based by using your knowledge. So we also can help, and always think on ethical business. Do not use adulterants and do not do some. Please do not start business with unethical things. Right? There are so many unethical businesses are happening, occurring in Sri Lanka, and the people also enter in those guys. But one day you have to close your business and go back to home, right? If you are interested, please watch uh, some Japanese videos and Korean people and some people. There are so many videos available on the YouTube, and there's a channel, Japanese channel. I can't remember the number. Its number. It is, you can watch it from Dialog TV and SLT, and there are some videos in the internet. So please read, watch these things and read the articles. So you are technologists, innocent people, they are paying a lot for you, for your education, and you're also spending 4 years here, right? So don't use it as a useless one, right? So please start your own business. Now you don't have money, uh, accept it. I also don't have money in the, as when I'm in the student, as a student in the faculty. So I started to do some consultancies for food processing factories. So I earned my pocket money. Then I started my job, and I fortunately entered my educational background is also completed, and nowadays um, I am moving for my businesses. So right, you also can do these things. Um, don't think that you can't do. So always think you can do. So I advise you to. There is a video in, you know, the Kumbala, ලංකාවේ ඉන්නේ කුඹලෙක්, ඔයගොල්ලෝ දන්නවා ඇති. Please watch his videos, and as he told, the Range Rovers and BMW Benz are available in the market, not to not to show, but you have to buy it. So those vehicles are there, luxury life are there, hotels are there. So you have to spend your life. So you have at least around, maximum you all have 50-60 years to uh, spend, right? Out of these 50 years, you have around 20 years to enjoy. So please use this time to enjoy, right? You always are suffering. I can see in the faculty boards also, we can see students are suffering, right? They always told that we should have online exam. Sometimes we have physical exam. Not to not to use not to practice suffering. It is a bad thing, right? Another example, if you are a technologist, you know, there is a issue in our computer, then you can format it and install a new thing, new Windows or Apple or whatever the software. So it is, that is the last thing. So before that, we have so many things to do, right? So as you are technologist, always try to get correct decisions at correct time. Right? So that's my advice. So I hope that you have a very good understanding on sugar confectionaries. Uh, so we'll start chocolate confectionaries later. So thank you very much. If you have any question, please ask me or please email me. And please carefully read all these, watch these videos and read the articles I have shared on LLMs. Thank you very much.